So here's a really good one where a young guy definitely gets to see his girlfriend's true colors after he proposes to her. She didn't like how it went and wanted him to redo it. Titled, I, a 25-year-old male, proposed to my girlfriend, a 24-year-old female of 4 years, but she said no because it wasn't a surprise. And a shout out to Joseph for sending me this story. It says here, I'll start by saying that I love my girlfriend a lot, but she is definitely high maintenance. Well, that's on you, bonehead. Those high maintenance types aren't worth it. We've been talking about getting married for a couple of years now, but I wanted to wait until I knew a wedding was something that we could afford. Very sensible, but still. And by the way, notice, we've been talking about it for a couple of years, but they've only been together 4 years. So 2 years into the relationship, they're already talking about marriage, and he's like 23 and she's 22. Smack! No. And you're going to see why. I finally got a promotion at work, and she found stable employment, so I went out and bought her a ring. We went on vacation last week. The whole trip was very romantic, and I proposed to her on the beach, which I thought she would have wanted. Okay. For most girls, most, that would be a pretty darn good thing. On the beach, romantic trip, there you go. What could possibly be a problem here? It turns out that she expected it all along because the trip was so romantic, and she said no. You heard that right. She said no. Who the hell says no? She wants me to try again, but wants it to be a surprise this time. She also wants a photographer to be there to capture the moment. One of those, huh? In other words, so she can put it on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the hell she wants. Maybe even like on fucking her own personal YouTube channel. Does this sound like a girl's in love with her guy? Or she's just in love with the idea of the whole spectacle of the process of a wedding? It was pretty fucking embarrassing when a few people came up to us to congratulate us, and she was explaining why, and she said no. Bro, that is when you run. Goodbye. We're done. Guys, if she's in love with you, that's it. She'll be happy. I'm not sure what to do. Smack! Really? She wanted it to be a surprise, but also wanted me to propose as soon as I felt ready to. We also talked about her ideal engagement, and it's on a beach. Yes, seriously. In a forest or a field. I can't imagine any possible scenario where I could surprise her at one of these locations. She's not the outdoorsy type, so it'd be unlikely she would be in any of those locations anyway. Yeah, something tells me she's not exactly a girl that likes to go on hikes or get her shoes dirty. That's why you avoid the high maintenance types. I explained my frustration to her, and she just says, well, if you want to get married, you'll find a way to make it work. You don't try to reason with an unreasonable person. She doesn't give a shit about you. And you think it's bad now? Imagine being married to her. How demanding she's going to be. It seems so bratty and immature, and I'm not sure how to deal with her now. I'm still really pissed off about it. What should I do about this? Am I wrong to be pissed off? Now, before I get into the update here, again, yeah, you have every right to be pissed off. Why do you actually think it's wrong to be pissed off? She's a fucking jackass. But probably people are telling you that, well, she's the bride, she deserves this. What has she done through her actions to show she deserves your proposal? You know, the beach sounds pretty darn good to me. I'm sure it is for most people, but nope. Has to be a surprise. And a photographer. Now to the update. This is where, we're really going to see her true colors. So I decided to try and talk to her about it one more time before throwing in the towel. I wasn't really expecting much, but I just wanted to see if she would see my side. Again, don't try to reason with an unreasonable person. She lives with me, so I wanted to end things on a good note. She didn't understand at all. She was still saying that I need to work for it, and she wasn't taking me seriously, so I broke up with her. Good. Thank God. He has to work for it? In other words, this pussy is in high demand. You can't put a price on this pussy, so you better freaking figure out a way. Sweetheart, there are 8 billion people on the planet. Half of them are women. The numbers are on my side. You're going to be a freaking asshole? Get out. Then she told me that she does accept my proposal, and we're just going through a rough patch, but we will make it work out. She was really trying to get me to change my mind and was promised me she'd be better to me. Oh, imagine that. All of a sudden he says we're breaking up, and all of a sudden that proposal looks pretty good to her. Look what happens when a man lays down the law. She completely ignored me every time I told her we're breaking up and was always yelling over me about how we were going to work things out now that we're engaged, and eventually I just got tired and went to sleep, thinking I was perfectly clear that it was over. Again, it's about the details. She was talking over him, wouldn't listen to him. Again, does she respect him? Does her actions demonstrate deep respect and love for this guy? No, not at all. And she wasn't expecting this breakup. So I woke up on Saturday morning to a whole bunch of messages. And she found the ring and took a picture of it and announced on Facebook our engagement and tagged me on that. He just told her we're breaking up. I'm not proposing to you. And that little sneak then announces on Facebook. Well, how much of a fool she's going to look like when she has to say, oh, never mind, we're broken up. We got into another huge fight, and eventually I just called her parents and told them to come pick her up. Pick up her shit, or I'm going to dump it as soon as she leaves. They were surprised, and surprisingly understanding, though. Her dad seemed really embarrassed by her, but they were a huge help. Yeah, well, I got to ask, here's a question. Not a question, here's a statement. Who do you think probably spoiled her? How do you think she got to where she is? Probably started with her parents spoiling her. Then she's probably really good looking, had guys throwing themselves at her, so she thinks she's the Queen of Sheba, or the Princess of Sheba. I know it's illegal to do that, and I was supposed to actually evict her, but she got seriously violent and didn't want her house. I didn't want her in my house anymore. She smashed my iPad and knocked my PlayStation off the TV stand, and both are completely broken. Oh, hell no. Giant tantrum, breaking stuff. Oh, this girl's going to become the Fatal Attraction chick 2025. So I didn't want to wait around and see what else she would do. She wouldn't even give me the ring back. Her dad had to guilt her into it. It was pretty pathetic. So that's the end of us. It really sucks. I wasted the last 4 years of my life with her, but I guess it was better to get out now. Do you think? It's nice that I can hang out with my friends again. What did he just say? It's nice that I can hang out with all my friends again. In other words, he has been dedicating his whole life to her. Again, it's not that surprising she treats him this way. A girl I'm friends with actually asked me out on a date the other day, so I'm going out with her tomorrow. I'm actually pretty nervous. I know it's way too early, but even if it doesn't work out, it should be fun to start dating again. There you go. So, he dodged a big one. Big time. She's psycho. And I'm sure early on, any of you guys that watch me regularly and been around the block could see the signs that this girl, is trouble. High maintenance girls, spoiled brats, good looking ones, it's not worth it. She doesn't love this guy. She met him she was 22 years old or 20 years, whatever it was, 20 years old. And she probably figured, okay, I fucked around for a while with Chad and Tyrone. Now I'm going to establish some roots with this nice guy who I can walk all over. And she probably have phoned Chad and Tyrone on the side anyway. And then be demanding too. And this guy just gave away his freaking, I don't want to say his power, but his life to her. It'd be nice to see my friends again. Yeah, because you stopped seeing them because she's probably demanding your time. I'm sure she was out with her friends a lot. I'm sure she's probably out with other dudes. But this is what happens when we don't respect you. But you give away, anything to have them respect you. So I'm glad he ended it with her. But if he hasn't changed or learned anything, the next girl comes around that's high maintenance because people tend to have a pattern with who they date, is going to do the same thing. So there you go, guys. Girl doesn't accept your apology. Girl doesn't accept your proposal. That's it. Tells you everything you need to know.